Hey guys, welcome back to another Lozy Gamer vid. Today I'm going to be showing you a new beginner strategy for Age of Mythology Retold. Now, I am by no means a good player, but so far I haven't lost a single game with this strategy, and I've played like 20 or so. So if you're losing over and over again, this is a very simple and easy way to get back to like a normal or average rank of 1,000. If you haven't guessed already, I've done this strategy Cyclops Rush. I did this mainly because you rush the enemy with Cyclops. Yeah, and the way I'm going to show it is simple. First, I'll explain the build order, then I'll show you a replay of one of my games while I did this, and after that I'll explain why I think it works, and then I'll play a game using the strategy, a ranked game. Without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, so for the build order, it's pretty simple. You do the strategy mainly when you play Poseidon or Hades because they're the ones with Cyclops. I use Poseidon mostly because I just prefer him as a god, but you could also do it with Hades. And when you're Greek, you start with 4 villagers, so you automatically put those 4 villagers to food. Your next villager to gold, and then your villager after that to wood. You mainly put all of them to food because Hippias, which is the main unit you're going to be using, also takes food, and a Cyclops takes a lot of food, so you want most of your villagers to be on food. And then you have 1 villager to gold because also Hippias takes some gold, and 1 villager to wood so you can make houses and things. Then you have 2 more to food, and another 1 to gold. And at some point, you build a temple when you have enough. You should try to do it as soon as you have enough, but I sometimes miss it and forget for a few seconds, so that's not good. But yeah, as I said, I'm not very good. And then once you start building it, you should take some villagers to the temple, so you have like 3 on them, and then another villager to gold, so you should have 3 on gold about, and 2 on wood. And as soon as you make a temple, you should make a hero ASAP and start gathering relics that you found with your scout, which should have been scouting this entire time. And yep, another villager to wood, 2 more to food, 2 more to temple, and then you should be about ready to advance at that point. Because you make the hero first, usually your opponent might advance first, but do not be deterred, because almost all of my games my opponent advances first, but also, as I said before, I win all of them, so it shouldn't. If they do that, that means they don't have a hero yet, and they'll make the hero after, so you'll still be at the same point. And they didn't get any relics, so there's that. Once you advance, you should instantly make a stable with some of your temple villagers, and also research the Cyclops upgrade and get the next hero that unlocked. I'll explain why I do this in the replay, but it's really important that you do that first. And then you should start making Hippias and Cyclops. You can set them to auto queue, but if you're playing ranked, they don't auto queue. Most of the time isn't available, so but the strategy still works. You just have to be better about like checking to see if you're training units. And also throughout this entire strategy, you should be constantly making houses so you don't reach your population cap, because if you do, you'll stop making villagers. And even if it's for a second, it puts you way behind, sets you way back. And then I do this like maybe 10 or 20% of the time, but if you find yourself with a lot of wood, you can make an armory and maybe get an upgrade or 2. Yeah, that's about it for the build order. So without further ado, let's get to the replay. Okay guys, so we've just started, and right off the bat, as you can see, I've made my 4 villagers go, and I've placed my lure down to the food, and I already have my next villager set to go for gold, and I've already started scouting. We got that pig, and oh yeah, I'm gonna play it on 2 times speed just because, so we can get through it faster, and there's not a whole lot to say. It's mainly just for showing you, but yeah. So yeah, we have 1 villager on gold, and then we're already moving this villager on the wood. Now sometimes the gold and the wood will spawn right next to each other, in which case you only need to build 1 lumber camp, and then you can also, instead of putting a second villager on wood right away, you can wait a bit, because you have enough to build an extra house. And yeah, so you already found a first relic. Increase the villager attack's not very good, but still can be helpful. Yeah, I already got a second villager onto gold, and we're building our first house. And yep, as we see, we got 6, 3, and 2. We're almost about ready to build a temple. Just need 7 more gold. And yep, there we are, and there's our temple. Got another relic. This one's a little better. We're playing against Isis, and they're kind of annoying because their towers upgrade, I'm pretty sure, automatically. Plus they could make these like towers so they can see us coming. Although usually, even if they do see us coming, it's not enough time to be able to stop it. But still kind of annoying. And luckily, our power, let's see, pestilence for Ares, it prevents buildings from shooting projectiles, so that actually just negates all their towers. So that's pretty good. Yep, so we got 8 villagers on food now, and 4 on our temple. We, I believe, made our hero already. Where is he? Oh yeah, there he is. Already going and gathering the relics. I'm kind of unlucky, but I actually miss this relic for a long time. You know it's there because like the little shrine thing. It's right here, and I don't find it for a very long time. It's a little unfortunate. For like a revealed red, they try and advance really quickly and end up not really building a very strong army, which makes it very weak and susceptible to attacks and being rushed. Because I didn't even realize it until I attacked them, but they actually got to heroic age. But since they didn't have an army, since they put all their resources into advancing, they didn't have any army. Yeah, they're a common strat that people do is put houses around their towers, and as you can see, they're doing that here. And there's the advanced to classical. We are almost to classical ourselves, and there it is. So as you can see, we've started making the Will of Kronos, which upgrades Cyclops a lot, and we already started building the stable as well. And we've also started building our hero. The reason for building our hero first and getting the Cyclops thing first is once we start making horses, they kind of take all of our gold, and if we don't make the hero and upgrade first, then we won't have enough gold to actually do it. And they also cost favor, so that's also that. So it's better to get them out of the way, and that way you're not like cutting off making horses to get them. But yeah. And same thing with getting the upgrade, although sometimes I wait for that anyway. Yeah, now we've started putting a little more villagers on gold. We only ever need 2 villagers on wood because we don't build a lot of wooden things. We just build the stable, some houses, and then occasionally an armory, but that's about it. We still move a few over there anyway. This is why I like Poseidon better than Hades, because he has the lure, which is really helpful for food, and you can put all your villagers on food and gold because horses use food and gold. And also, this happened, it was really unfortunate. He kind of just rushed me with those 2 guys and killed them all. But I was like, okay, well, if he's gonna take those 2 guys over there, I'll just attack him really early. And I did. See, and I saw the scorpion. I'm like, wait, that's only available in the heroic age. And I checked him. Oh, he's already heroic. When did that happen? But yeah, so you just send all the Cyclops onto the town center. And then I have my horses go around and attack any heroes. And I have my heroes attack their myth units, which basically acting as meat shields for the Cyclops to just take the town center right there. And it's basically over for them at this point. I'm not sure why they didn't surrender. Also take all their pigs. Pretty neat. Yeah, at this point it's just me. I send my Cyclops to attack, and I was wondering if they had the town center down here, so I sent guys to check it out. But they were building it, but they hadn't gotten it, so that's good. They ended up using all their god powers. It doesn't show if they've used it, but they did. And oh, you can see up here at the top right. They've used their gold, serpents, and ancestors. But now all they have is this barracks and this thing, and they keep making guys out of it. But I just keep destroying them. But now, oh, and there's the resignation. As you can see, I was already starting to build the army. So even if they managed to kill what remains of this army, I could just come in with what was building and sweep them. Yeah. Usually if this game I continued on, and sometimes it does because they just are able to resist really well. I even win in the long run too because as you see, I already have 402 wood and a decent amount of gold, so that's almost enough for a new town center. And then I can also make an armory with the wood and get upgrades. And so then I'll just be stronger and stronger. Well, they still have to keep rebuilding this town center. Because rebuilding a town center, I'm pretty sure it's 350... Oops. What does it say? Yeah, it's 350 food or wood and 350 gold. Plus it takes 150 seconds to make. So that's a lot of resources every time they manage to rebuild their town center. So that way I'll just keep overwhelming them until they're done. Yeah. And usually, oops, that's the wrong thing. Hello? Oh, okay. Oh wait, there it is. View post game. Usually, your total military resource value will be really higher than theirs when you do Cyclops Rush. But I've noticed in other games I played, maybe not this one, because I'm being honest, this guy was actually bad. I'll show his stats are here, and so he was really bad anyway. But this does work. There was a game I played a little back, and the guy had a higher rank than me. He'd played like 100 ranked games and won like 80% of them, and he resisted for a while, but I still ended up beating him. So it just goes to show that it's still a good strategy. Yeah, usually my score is a lot lower than everybody else's because I put everything in the military. So score isn't really a good tell sign of who's better. All resources, mostly even. All resources collected, more mostly even, but also usually I'm a lot lower because I don't build a second town center. So that really impacts my resources. Plus, I'm not very good, so sometimes I let villagers idle. And then also sometimes people come in and kill my villagers, as you saw. But yeah, and now I will explain why it works. Okay, now that we've finished watching the replay, let's get into why I think Cyclops Rush works. But before I do that, let's analyze what do you need to win. You need an army that's big enough to destroy the enemy base. And how do you get that? You need resources and population. You get population from houses, so there's that, and you get resources and houses from villagers. And also you need resources to make villagers. So, yeah, you need resources, an army, and villagers, mainly. And usually, if you want a big army, you have to go out of your base and get resources. As you can see, you only have 2 gold mines that are next to your town center, and you have to venture out to get more gold. And that's not good because that makes it so unless you bring military units over with your villagers or make towers, which both cost resources, then it's easy for the enemy to come in and destroy those villagers, which sets you way back compared to them, and usually might even cost you the game. So that's no good. And the reason Cyclops Rush is good is because it eliminates the need to leave your base, because you win before you ever have to go out and get resources. So you don't need a whole lot of population, because I never build a second town center unless the game lasts very long. So you can really make your entire army with just houses in the original town center. And you don't need more resources than what's already in your base, except for food. You might have to go behind your base to get some extra food, but usually you don't need to go too far away. And when you rush, it also catches the opponent off guard sometimes. I mean, rushes are pretty common, but it still can get them sometimes. And you don't need any siege units, which is usually something you need to destroy buildings, because just like infantry, cavalry, and archery aren't very, they don't do a lot of crush damage. But Cyclops do, so it makes it really easy to destroy buildings. And then another reason why I think it's just good in general is because it doesn't, usually Age of Mythology is a game where you have to focus on a million things at once, like jump here, jump here, jump here, and it gets harder and harder as the game goes on. But since you're just rushing and winning at the very beginning, it doesn't get too out of hand and is usually very manageable, even for someone as bad as you. But yeah, that's about why I think it works. And now that you know why it works, try and see if you can notice it in my game. And let's get into that. Alright guys, we're loading in. The map is Oasis. We are up against Loki. Something I forgot to mention is this strategy works mainly against the Greeks, but I've won against every type of pantheon, I'm pretty sure they're called, or group of gods, so it's not it's impossible to beat them. But Atlanteans can make a bunch of heroes, and also the Norse can make an army really early, and they also have Hessiers. And so that's no good. And then also the Egyptians, which are also the second easiest, I would say, they can make priests and the pharaoh. So yeah, but it's still a pretty good strategy regardless of who you're up against. And this, so yeah, I've sent my 4 villagers to food, and I've sent this person to gold, and this next person will go to wood, and these guys are gonna go back on food. Gotta make sure you click the exact one that these guys are on, or else the town center will kill another one. sometimes that happens, and then you're just wasting food because it decays, starts decaying. So you gotta be exact about that. In this case, I was able to put the storehouse right next to the gold and the wood, so I have 50 extra wood for a house. So I can hold off on putting a second villager on wood and keep putting villagers on food and gold instead. Wow. As you can see, the Cyclops strategy works before the opponent even knows what you're doing. I will... since this game was so quick, I am going to play a new game. Alright, so this is our next game, up against another Poseidon. So this is actually going to be really interesting, since we can see how Poseidon reacts to Poseidon beating its own ass. Yeah. The map is Marsh. I forgot to see what that means, but each map, you can read about the details before the game starts. Again, the wood is right next to the gold, so we can only build one storehouse. And also you made a notice, but I made the town center not actually target the deer. I made it go past it so that it doesn't automatically kill a deer and have it start decaying. For the scout, I usually have it go straight towards the enemy base to see, just so I know where it is, so I can start attacking. And then, yeah. And then I also have it go out to the sides to look for relics. So that's basically how I decide where to put my scout. Alright, so I have one villager on wood, one on gold, so I can start making them. Go over here. Make him go back to food. Got a pig. Oh yeah, and all this time you should also be making sure you get any pigs that the scout finds. It improves cavalry speed. That's pretty good for Poseidon, who does cavalry. Yeah. So usually about this time, this is kind of like when you can just chill because your villagers are just going where they're supposed to. You can just look around the map. Villagers farm faster. That's pretty good late game. I used to make farms right at the beginning as soon as I could, just because they're infinite resources. I've realized it's actually not a good strategy. Oh, here's blue. Let's see what they're doing. Yeah, okay. It's not a good strategy because it wastes a lot of wood, and then you need put a bunch of villagers on wood when you don't really need it. All you need it for is farms. Versus when you can just make, for 50 wood, you can just make us a granary anywhere and get food anywhere. Yeah. Looks like we caught a water buffalo with our lure. That's a free 400 food right there. Why were all these people going to gold? I don't know. But now I'm going to do that. And I can already make a temple. So I'm going to do that over here. Some pigs. Alright. Oh, another relic. Wood and gold faster. That's pretty good, actually. Alright, so as you can see, you got 2 on wood. That's the right amount. 3 on gold. We're a good amount. 7 on food. That's a alright amount. So now I'll just start putting villagers towards the temple. Yeah. Get that pig. And the temple's almost done, so I gotta be ready to make this hero. A lot of people think relics aren't that good, like they just give small buffs, but certain relics are actually really powerful and can really help you win the game in the long run. So I'm gonna just collect these one after the other and go right there. Once this next villager goes onto the temple, I'll put it towards food so it can get to advancing as soon as possible. What's going on there? Found the other scout. I'm actually gonna change my scout's path to cover the dark areas. Need another house. And we'll make another one. Usually people make their houses either to like guard their towers or just like make a wall. And I do think that's a good strategy. But in this case, usually no one ever attacks me before I attack them. And so I think it's better just to have them walk as little distance as possible so they can spend the most time gathering. Temple improvements are cheaper. That's actually a pretty good one to get. So I'm gonna just change. I did see their hero wandering around. Oh, he just got that relic apparently, so actually I'm going to go get this relic. Alright, he's already advanced. Oops. Go for that. And you guys go for that. Actually, I'm gonna take you two and start gathering these berry bushes. Usually you don't gather the chickens just because the berry bushes always tend to be more food. You can see 2, 4, 6, 8 berry bushes to 7 chickens, and the chickens are only 100 when the berry bushes are 150. I almost never grab the chickens actually. I always just go and venture out to find. Seriously, he got all those relics too? Grab this one. Oh, this is actually one of the better ones. It reduces the cost of advancing to the next age, so you can save a ton of resources that way, especially the more you advance. So yeah, that's pretty good. And we're just about advanced. Alright, so we get that, and we get her. And then we make a stable. Another cool thing about the Greeks is their heroes actually train while other things are being trained, so that's pretty good. Alright, and then I'll start making my villagers go to gold now, because I still need some gold. Why aren't they building that? And we'll make another house. Bring the hero. A pig. Mind if I do? Actually, is there any more food? 2 buffaloes, that's 800 food, that's not bad. Probably. Just take it. And you guys can get those chickens. And you guys can go there. Start making horses, and we'll just grab that upgrade. Another thing I forgot to mention in the build order is, usually, this is really only after I start sending my guys to attack, but I'll grab the sentry upgrade, so that when my army leaves, I still have something that's defending, sort of. But yeah, I usually don't do that until later, because my army can just defend. But it's always still a good upgrade, because it, like, covers the entire area of your base. It's probably enough villagers doing that, so I can do that, and also send one to wood. Usually you don't really need more than, oh, see they're building a base already up there. Probably spending a lot of resources on buildings, which is good because then they are less on an army. I'm just gonna send this guy to see if there's any food I can collect up there. Make that, that. There. These guys are almost done. The only food's up for here, and how much is? That's 400. Oh, this is actually a lot of food. So I'm gonna send all these guys up here and attack. Okay, they've already started attacking me. Love that. Have the hero attack the myth unit. Alright, they chickened out. What a crazy thing to do. Yeah. I have my hero ready to do that, and I'll back up my Cyclops. And they resigned. I'm debating whether I should include this in the video. Didn't last very long. What I assume what happened is, let's see. Wow, that is a lot. I'm assuming their plan is, and this is a common plan, is to build all your stuff near the middle town center so you can claim it, because these are like key points. And they did that and made an army, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna give him a little rush. And then I absolutely whipped him, and he was like, okay, I cannot beat this guy. He's way better than me. He's such a cool Sigma Chad. And was like, yeah, I should just resign. And resigned. But yeah, if he hadn't done that, I probably would have just made more Cyclops, and then I would have just come in and destroyed any army he had left, which just seems to be these 3 guys, and take out everything here. All of this would have produced a lot of militia, which probably would have taken out all, if not most of my army, or most, if not all of my army. But by then, I'll probably wait maybe a few more seconds to get some more guys, and then I'll just rush his base and take out all of his villagers in his town center, and then he definitely would have resigned, hopefully. These villagers, there's 5 hippos here, each worth 400, so that's a lot. I'm pretty sure 2,000 food, so that would have been a lot. Would have sent these villagers probably to get these chickens, actually, and also I would have started sending more villagers to wood. Then I could start making farms, and that would have been good. Yeah, and then if I ever ran out of gold, there's gold here that I could take, and here, and maybe right here. So yeah, that's basically how the strategy works. If you look at the post game, his mandatory resource value is actually bigger than mine, but I think he didn't have any upgrades, so that's why I came out on top. Yeah, he only researched 3 things. And I researched 4. Oh, wait, no, he researched 4 and I researched 3. Those 4 things were probably economic things, though, while I only researched upgrades. He had the larger army. He had more units. Oh, he also had medium Hippias. I don't think he had any myth units, though. And so my myth units destroyed his guys, and then my heroes and Hippias destroyed his heroes. Oh yeah, he had 1 centaur that I killed, or almost killed. But yeah, that's basically it. He spent too much of his resources in buildings, I think. If you look at resources, it's pretty even. If you look at all resources, also pretty even. Okay. Well, that's it for my strategy on Cyclops rushing. Give it a try out yourself and let me know how it goes in the comments. Lozy Gamer out.